All right, hello everyone. So I'm going to actually try to do a real batch of aircrete today. It's a little late and I'm getting started a little late, so I'm going to kind of rush through it a little bit, but I'll try to set this on time lapse and do most of it. I'm actually going to bring the equipment. I'm going to set it up right here under the bench, the compressor and all that stuff, put the bucket with the soap water in it on top of the bench. I'll kind of go through all of that. I'll get everything set up, and then I'll walk through it one more time with the video just to make sure you guys understand what's going on. All right. So the big major thing is going to be these things. This is what I was missing last time when I was trying to do it. That's why the aircrete came out very inconsistent. This thing, it has the flat bottom. It has the flat bottom here. So, I mean, it's not completely flat, but it's a heck of a lot flatter than the other one was there. So I shouldn't have any problem getting down into that machine. I'm also planning on making sure that I put a piece of Gorilla tape around where that hose and the linkage connect to each other, because last time, remember, the hose kind of flew out, and we had a bunch of suds coming. Another important thing is I will definitely be measuring the weight of the actual foaming agent. I want to make sure I get it to that right consistency and density. So we're going to get started. Hopefully by the end of the day we'll have a pour that aircrete into the form and see what happens. All right. Okay, everyone, so here's the setup. Don't mind those two jugs of mud in the middle. That's for the concrete earth block project. But basically what we're going to do is we're going to have the foaming agent in here, and it is basically 16 ounces of dish soap to 5 gallons of water. That's the recipe we're going with. That goes through this tube into the dragon itself. This is the actual meat of the machine. I'm not sure how it works internally, but what I do know is it needs to have the air coming from a compressor like this guy here. So this air goes in at the top. It's receiving the foaming agent on the right side, and then out of this tube comes all the way into this guy. Let me get into a better angle for this. So here's the tube, and this is basically a tube full of steel wool that then comes out of here through this angle and goes into this shaft here, and then that's where your mixer is. So the mixer's there. The shaft for the mixer is inside of this tube, and it goes over here to this motor, and then from here the foam goes down. Now this is the Gorilla tape that I had to add because this piece last time came down and flew off. And then if you look at the size of that blade, it's not so visible. I'll show this to you for a second. So you can see how tall that blade is, and that blade wasn't all the way into the slurry when I was doing half batches. So hopefully this time when I do the full batch, I'm going to do the full slurry. All right, let's see what we get. All right, everyone. So in this bucket over here, there's 5 gallons of water with actually probably more like 19 ounces of soap, but I'm not sure that's going to make too much of a difference. Hopefully the soap was a little coagulated, so I think if you take out what was left in there that was coagulated, it might all even out. That's going to be going to the dragon. Now, I've already counted and filled this 55, let me see, can I do this? Yeah, there we go. This 55-gallon drum with water. 5 gallons of water at the bottom of this thing, and my mixer's all hooked up and ready to go. So let's go on the other side. My foam weighs 20 grams per 500 milliliters, so it weighs 40 grams per liter, and I need it to be around 90. So I'm producing a much frothier foam, much lighter foam than it needs to be. I'm trying to decide why. Can the lighter foam support it? And it's just that's not necessary, because they say around 90 to 100 grams per liter is the range they'd like it to be. So I'm gonna the part about the maybe you saw it on the time-lapse video. I think I'm going to leave it in there. What I had done is I had actually, if you can see these two ports, they were backwards on the little dragon here. So I had hooked this guy up to my bucket and this guy up to my mixer, and it was supposed to be the other way around. So hopefully you get to this part of the video and make sure to hook up the right ports to the right device, or you're going to have an explosion like I did. I should have realized it when I saw the pressure leaking out of the this line. There should have been no pressure on that line. Anyway, so that's where we're at. I'm going to see if I can find out why I'm producing a lighter foam. If not, I'm just going to go for it and see what I can come up with. Okay, so I don't know if the last video took or not. Basically, I found out that indeed my foam is too light. And so the way I control that is by controlling the pressure gauge on the little dragon, that little box that has the two tubes and the air pressure connected to it. Basically, in my case, because I have a lot more foam, there's a lot more air, I need to reduce the air pressure. That way I'll get a heavier foam, and that's what I'm looking for. I'm too light. I'm around 40 grams per liter, and I need to be around 90 to 100. So I'm going to try to reduce the pressure. I'll do another weigh up and see if I can't come up with the right weight. Well, I ran out of foaming agent before I was able to hit the numbers I wanted. I was close. I think it's about 60 psi. In fact, I think I remember that from one of the videos that I was watching on YouTube. They said somewhere around 60 psi. This foam is pretty, like, this thing doesn't want to go anywhere, especially this last batch that I made. So I'm going to kind of also start learning again about the feel. All right, guys. I don't know if you can see it. Hopefully the slow-mo got me working it. But that foam on top, it happened to be coming out as I came out. But this felt really good. I'm gonna pour it real quickly. So I'm just gonna be real short, and then we'll scree it, and then we'll see how it looks. Well, here's the finished product. I can't say I did the best screeing job. Actually, I made a mistake. I measured my scree stick to be exactly 4 feet. I should have made it a little bit shorter because the plastic was interfering with me being able to slide it along one direction and then the other direction. So hopefully you saw in the time-lapse video, basically what I did was I put it on one side, went one angle, went to the opposite side, came to the other angle. So it's not a perfect shape, that's for sure. It's going to be rough on the outside at least. I have no idea what's going to happen to it on the inside either. I probably should have like pushed the plastic in a little bit more with like a shovel or something. Maybe that would have made it better. I don't know. We'll find out. So hopefully the sun is going down. This is going to have the whole night to simmer in its own juices before the sun comes up tomorrow. It's going to get cold and it might rain and it might snow. And as I understand, the longer concrete takes to cure, the harder it's going to cure. So I'm hoping for a good batch here. This is batch number 3. As you can see, once I poured it in here and once I started scraping it out, you can see some little bubbles here and there popping, but for the most part, it's holding its form. In other words, even the places where I didn't quite scree it right, it's, you know, you can see those little edges are holding their form. In fact, I'm going to leave it that way and see how much this thing settles. Maybe I'll mark the plastic somewhere to see if I can see how far it settles. Hopefully it doesn't settle at all. The idea is you pour it in the form, and with very little settling, maybe millimeters of settling, you get a nice foamy piece of concrete that's light, airy, and hit to use. So on my machine, with my combination, it was about 60 psi on the drag end. That's where it seemed to settle in and give me a good foam. I did measure the foam. It was about 45 or 47 grams per 500 millimeter, which is my cup, so you double that, and we're right in there, in that 90 to 100. Sorry, it must have been like 50 or something. Hopefully I recorded it. Shoot, I don't think I did record it. In fact, I can go see real quick. Okay, so it's 49 now, so that would have been almost 50, so that's right there at 100. That's what I thought. It's at 49. I got to remember that number. It's at 49, and it's slowly losing at the micrograms weight. So we'll go with 49 for this third batch of density. All right, guys, I'm bushed. I got to clean up. We'll start another episode maybe tomorrow. Although it's going to be rainy and cold for the next couple of days, maybe what I'll do is just ingest videos and put out a few to get this thing going. Thanks again for following me. If you like what you see, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, keep up to date with what's going on. Eventually this stuff's going to turn into a couple of nice domes to become our little habitat.